Excited. This is day one. We are breaking into a 12-month series. We're going to break it down by quarters. So I'm going to over the next year. It's my hope that we are going to rediscover some really great habits, discover new habits that we can add to our business, and then things that have been working for me and my team and my firm, but also others that I have been kind of training on the listing side of the business really over the last few years in different markets around the country. So I'm training people in the Scottsdale, Arizona markets right now, the Fort Lauderdale, Boca Raton markets right now, as well as the Austin and Houston markets out here in Texas. Just a little bit introduction on who I am. My name is Michael Hershenberg. I am the founder of the Hershenberg Group out here in the North Texas market. I have a team in North Texas and El Paso, and we just started an expansion team that is going to be heading out to the Austin area towards the end of this year as well. I have 28 agents that are with the company. We are, some about units because as I started in this business, I've grown significantly. We're about between 250 to 350 units in a given year on and off market, and we're sitting somewhere around 220 to 280 million in closed volume on market and off market in both our El Paso market and our Dallas Fort Worth market. I started in the business. This is my 12th year in the rodeo. I love what I do. I have a passion for it. I started in a career where I was a controller of a company in the accounting field. I love what I did. I was very, very systematic and putting things in place to make our executives, look stronger and save money. I love examples when it comes to tracking expenses. It's my favorite thing. They always put me in charge of the very good expenses. So we'll do a little formula and a little math test here in the middle of this to show you kind of some of the returns that we're getting on some of our activities and systems that we're using. Pretty basic, just formulas on how to track your expenses and show you what an overall ROI looks like, on that outcome. I started in the business first year. I think I closed one deal, maybe two. I was told by somebody that I looked up to at the time. She said, "Michael, you're not built for this business. You're not going to do well, and you might as well just give in the hat and give up your hat and not stay in the business longer." Year two, I got into the business. I focused as a buy side agent. Closed about 72 deals. As a buyer's agent, I was working, gosh, it felt like 100 hours a week, just going through the Zillow hamster wheel of picking up and converting. But something happened in that time. I started learning how to have real conversations with people and help guide them through to the finish line. And that I started really making a game out of who I can convert and how quickly I can convert them. Third year, I picked up my first listing. It wasn't a pretty one. I walked into the house. I think it was a 1.9 million, $2.1 million property here in Colleyville, Texas, one of our luxury markets in North Texas. I walked in, there's a rat that ran across the floor. I'll never forget it. A rat ran across the floor. The sign for the agent that had the property listed before I walked in was on the ground in the yard. The owner looked at me when he walked up to the house, shook his head. He's like, that's been covered in just dirt and mud and laying there for the last few weeks. And we're just sick and tired of it. We're ready to move forward. And he wasn't going to give me a chance. I really had to earn the right to allow that seller to build trust with me and allow himself to be vulnerable in the process so that I can focus on bringing him value and getting the property sold. And then fast forward to where I went through. I've been with Remax. I was with Keller Williams in South Lake for about 4.5 years, and I'm hanging my hat here. This is my third year with Real Broker, and I am leading again the 10th largest mega team in the state of Texas. And we're excited what we're doing. We're breaking into so many different markets right now and having a lot of fun. But it always comes back to, why am I doing this? Why are you doing this as agents? And for me, my value add in this is I am giving back to somebody. I'm being a good steward of the gifts that I have and getting somebody out of trouble, getting somebody out of an asset and bringing real value. Why am I doing that with this demographic or this group of cancel expires, withdrawals, people that have failed and have struggled through the process? Because they've become really, really good referral sources. And if you can follow a path to always give value back to them, they're going to be great referral partners for you for years to come. So what we're going to be doing over the next 12 months, let's just start it. We're going to be breaking it down by quarter. So for June, July, and August, we're going to be really talking about high-level farming. from print materials that we're sending out to digital campaigns where we are going in and tactfully putting a net around a demographic, a price point, or a local area. And we're going to be doing some demographic farming based on that income per capita, based on whether they're a car collector or they like hunting. We're going to go and use tools and systems to locate them, whether they're around your markets or around one of your feeder markets. And we're going to put things in place, actionable things in place where you're sending high level text messaging campaigns, email campaigns, and print campaigns that are being delivered at a high level to their inbox, to their doorstep. And I'm going to show you how we, over the past, 10 years now, have, I think, mastered this neighborhood farming and taking it to a lot higher of a level. So you're going to learn some things. You have some notes. I want to add that. So before each session, you're going to be able to get a one-page worksheet. As we're going to try to keep it simple. I'm going to have Laura add that to the chat now, and you'll be able to utilize this to take notes, but also kind of take some things that you have learned throughout the process. So download that file as a PDF, save it in a folder. Next month, we're going to keep in the same rhythm. We're going to learn things that we didn't learn on this session, fine-tune some strategies, get into some scripting, and essentially unlock. I want to be able to unlock wealth for everybody here. I'm in a place now where, our goals for this year as a team, I have 28, like I said, 28 agents between Texas and El Paso, and our goals, we're going for a $350 million year. And I want to continue just to bring value to every one of my team members, but they know the system, they know the platform, and I want to be able to share that with you today. So we're going to kick this off and get going, and really appreciate y'all joining and looking forward to you signing up for our next sessions in the near future as well. The cadence and rhythm for these courses, by the way, we're going to be every third Tuesday. And that same link to the course that you used to register, just go ahead and go to your Google Calendar invite and make that a repeating event so it always saves on there as well. That way you can just jump in to the platform and get right back at it. So I'm looking at core campaign buckets, right? If I'm looking at the campaign, as an operator, I look at a campaign. Am I doing a video campaign? Am I doing a postcard campaign? Am I doing a video mailer campaign? Am I doing a magazine campaign? These are activities that are going to generate more business for you. Okay, geofarming. So this has been, again, I started with geofarming when I was with the Tom Ferry Group, probably about almost 8 years ago. I worked with a group that taught me how to high level postcard sell and hit doors with postcards. And again, at the day, they were syndicating those postcards to a property valuation tab, and there's a little third party page that would give that homeowner a property valuation in the background. Still doing it to this day. That's a system that I use that we never stop. So after every sale, depending if it's under million or over $500,000 sale, either 250 or 500 postcards are being hit into those doors after every closing. If it's a multiple offer or a sale within the first 3 days, we're letting the customers know that on a little hook that we put on the first page of that postcard. Always use leverage partners. So make sure if you're not using leverage in your business, your mortgage and title partnerships, they have the ability to help pay for some of those ads and get that stuff going so that it's streamlined and you don't have to worry about it. I kind of consider that campaign now as a set it and forget it campaign. But that was my introduction to geofarming. So I was like, wow, I can take this postcard and at the time spend $1,500 and send out 1,800 postcards and just sit there and I'm going to be rich. I'm going to have a Ferrari and it's going to be awesome and I'm not going to have to worry about being in real estate again. That didn't happen at all. There was a few people that held on to postcards, and after like 6 months of holding on or a year of holding on, they might have called me and said, hey, you sell houses in the area. Why don't you come by and do that? Now that I know that making these hooks very, very attractive to the standpoint of I'm doing something differently that nobody else is doing. We'll show you a postcard, a QR code that we're doing for next session. This last week, we broke into a neighborhood that we have in Flower Mount. You have about 600 homes within 3 neighborhoods, and we actually hired a charter bus. Brought the charter bus and picked up 50 agents from downtown Dallas and Highland Park, chartered them all the way to our top luxury property. Then we had a mastermind and lunch at the second property, and then went off to see 2 others. Then I had them back in downtown Dallas by 2 o'clock. I use that example is because I'm going to use that as a mega listing machine. I'm hitting those postcards, they're the jumbo postcards, showcasing the bus. It's going to have a QR code that says that's going to give our hook. Our hook, we are a luxury listing roadshow. And this is what we're going to be doing monthly. At the end of the day, in July, August, I'll probably be running 3 to 4 luxury charter buses. And every one of the neighbors, they know when we're coming through the neighborhood. And so I'm messaging on those postcards is going to be, this is the success that we had at our last road show. You saw the bus, you saw the people, and then here's a little sneak peek of what the next month will look like. They'll QR code and they'll get a nice branded promo from us going out and having the bus pull up to the property and let all the guests out and have the mastermind at the property, and all these agents just had their phones out taking video content, sharing it with their circles. Well, Michael, how'd you get them to do that? I gave away good prizes. I said, hey, I have prizes to give away. I need your phones out at these tours, and I want to showcase you sending this and tagging our group on every piece of footage that you got, while you're at the property, so that I can show my customers that we got 50 shares within 50 of the highest producing, or top producing agents in this market. And that's what I'm going to use to validate your prize that we're going to get in at the end of this. And it felt really cool driving around that tour bus. But I'm gonna be targeting from now through the next few months on my return of investment on that roadshow. And every customer will have that QR code and that magazine to sign up for the next roadshow. So I'm going to be listed as the contact card, inviting them to sign up for our next run of this luxury roadshow. I just wanted to give you that example. The next session in July will showcase and show you what that video looks like. I'll show you what that ad proof looks like in that postcard. And then we're just going to track it together over the next few months and kind of let you get in the rhythm of how these are converting for us. That's just a high level of what geofarming is. So I wanted to take this normal postcard geofarming tactic and turn up the heat a little bit of it. So some of the next things that I'll be at is and talk about is, farming these neighborhoods with a little bit more intention. And so I became the largest agent in Denton County for priced properties that are over the $1 million threshold, because of me starting with a tactical campaign where I wanted to hunt for a luxury lake lot on Lake Grapevine. And what I did, I got 75 bottles of some pretty good wine, probably $30 or $40 a bottle is what I spent at the time, and I tracked that cost on it. I had some branded wine boxes and a really nice VIP letter, and I sent it to the top 75 lot owners on the Grapevine side, the South Lake side, the Trophy Club side, and the Flower Mound side. And out of that 75, over that first week, I got 9 people who responded back to me just to thank me for the wine and say, hey, this is really great. I'm going to hold on to this bottle. This is really good marketing, and thank you so much. I got 4 out of that first week that they said, we've never seen anything like this. You put your own money where it is. Do you really have the buyers? And I said, absolutely, I do. My number one, within a week of that campaign hitting doors, I had 4 lots under contract that were off market on Lake Grapevine. The number one was a senior vice president of ExxonMobil. I ended up selling $10.5 million of property for him within a 30-day timeline from that bottle of wine going out. And so I look at the activities. This is a good activity. I made sure on that list, I called everybody on that list. It just wasn't sending it and setting it and forgetting it. I had to make sure I used a campaign in the background to get their cell phone numbers and to make sure that I was sending a follow-up letter, a handwritten letter at the time, letting them know that I sent the wine and that I still have buyers on the hunt for a waterfront lot, and I want to be their guy if and when this is not the time for them. I want to be that guy when it's the time to sell their property, because I can be able to reach out to customers and a potential buyer group unlike anyone that is out there. So utilizing that's kind of having a little bit more intention instead of just setting it and forgetting it. So one of our platforms in that example was my first introduction to a platform that worked alongside PropStream or Mojo Dialer. That allowed me to get the phone numbers for the list of neighbors in that particular side of the lake. Now with PropStream, it's a seamless process where I get the phone numbers, pretty much the email addresses, the name, and I have the minute they receive something, we're calling those customers with a 1 or 2 day stamp that we have on on the campaign that we're sending, and just thanking them, letting them know who we are, wanted to make sure that you received our wine campaign or our video mailer campaign. And this is this is some of the tactics that we're using in our markets to be able to separate ourselves from our competition. And so that follow up there is one of the most important steps. If you're going to be sending stuff, if you're going to be investing in yourself, to get in front of customers, you really have to follow it up with the call. You have to get over that. There's a lot of agents say, "Oh, I'm fine with calling, I'm fine with rejection." But getting into those habits where you're making those dials, making, whether it's 30 to 50 to 100 dials in that hour and a half session or not, making those calls, setting those voicemails. If you don't like voicemails, you can do a voicemail drop platform where you record a voicemail and ask for them to call you back. That's a little bit of the lazy approach, but at least it's still trying and getting them to, call you back. But the live calls is where it really matters, and getting in front of the person in that time frame where they still know who you are, and they just had received whatever you sent them, whether it's a week or a 2 week time frame. Try to stay on that if you can. Identifying these equity rich homeowners. We'll talk more about that in the next session. It's a platform that I use called the Wealth Engine. It allows us to fine tune and get these addresses, phone numbers, email addresses of customers that are at a certain income level or income bracket, north of 100 million or a billion. Or like specific attributes. They like hunting. They spend money on cars and car collections. You can really have fun with that platform, and then find and filter that out by the feeder cities that are close to your market as well. So you're marketing directly to the buyer group, so that when you are going on a listing appointment and they ask you, "Hey, what are you doing outside of this to be able to reach to the buyers in Phoenix and California and Washington and New York?" You're being very targeted for that price point of home and saying, "Hey, listen, this is the first group of buyers that we're going to go after as we start pre-launching and kind of making the property and coming soon status and getting the heat turned up. We're going to be marketing at a high level to these customers that are coming here and thinking about moving to Texas." Getting ahead of the market with the future of luxury sellers. Like I said, I kind of talked about this on the roadshow example. It's getting into customers before they've even thought about selling, just to kind of spark the interest a little bit. So I do that with the home valuation postcards that are, if I'm selling or breaking a record in that neighborhood, I will let them know it and let them have a little QR code to be able to get their estimated valuation, and essentially to schedule a meeting with our firm so that we can go on site and show them what their assets are valued at. Okay. Going back into targeted marketing campaigns, we're going to talk about three here. Actually, I got four examples, but we're going to start with one that I've been have been creating and adjusting over the last 7 years. And now I'm at a place where I know what it converts. I know what my investment is in it. I've got my pricing exactly where I want it. And it's moving through me all throughout the week. I'm getting into weeks where we're converting 7 to 10 deals. This can be somewhere between 8 to $20 million in new listings that are coming up. I would say in the summer months, I'm probably taking on between 100 to 150 million in a 2 to 3 month period, solely from our our video mailer campaigns. So we're going to jump into a little slideshow here. I'll have this kind of playing in the background. This is a video mailer campaign. I'm going to have Laura drop a link of a video just so you can hear the quality and clarity. This is an older video that we have that kind of showcases what's on the video when the customer opens it. But this is my Amazon hard package video box, okay? So it's not going to go anywhere. It's very self-destructible. On the front, I have a QR code for my team's contact card. This is the customer calls in, they're going to call the team line. Whoever picks up the phone, they're going to get a $800,000 lead or a $5 million lead and be able to convert it. We've had success stories all year from closings and new listings taken from 3 to 8 million from our team members that have converted on this. So they're going to have the QR code as the first introduction on how to contact us. I'm going to open it like this. I'm going to pull out this is just a little market statistics showcasing some of our recent sales. I'm going to have a PDF email that'll kind of showcase this. And now they're opening up the video asset where they pull it out of the video box. They open it up. It's a magnet. They're looking at it and it's showcasing a video just like this of my elevator pitch on what I'm going to do differently to move the needle on their home. Again, these are customers that are very frustrated and not getting any activity on their home. doors. I'm just sending in and forgetting about it. It's the calls, the phone calls are the most important piece here. So going in and making sure that you're calling Jim and let's call her Jan. Hey Jim and Jan, this is Michael Hershenberg. I hope you're doing well. Hey, I wanted to make sure that you received our video testimonial card. It looks like it got sent to the house on Monday. I just want to introduce myself and let you know who I am. We're breaking records all across North Texas right now. We have a campaign that is putting your property in front of all of the feeder cities and all the customers that are moving to Dallas. And we're really taking a tactful approach on doing things just a little bit differently. We'd love an opportunity to meet with you. I have some time later on Tuesday or Wednesday to meet for a 30-minute consultation if you have the time for me. And then going in and learning your scripts and having that confidence to back up what you mean and go in front of them and make sure you're closing that deal. If they're going to allow you into their home, for a $2 to $10 million asset, you want to be able to go in there with confidence. And we're going to pick up some of those cues. We're going to pick up some of those habits throughout this session together on really how to, blow them away once we get in the doors. That'll probably be taking place on the second part of the session. So the second quarter, so in about 4 months, we'll do 3 months of really kind of building that rapport, getting it to the finish line, and presenting to disrupt your competitors. That's the name of the game for me here in Dallas. I'm going into these markets where agents have been that agent of choice for 10 and 20 and 30 years, and we're going in and disrupting and taking market share in these markets to bring new listings and a different way to our team members. So the other one that I have here, I want to kind of show you is Luxury Home Magazine. We'll talk about that here in a second, but I'll show a little bit of a benefit here for you. So on Luxury Home Magazine, it's in our markets. Your market may or may not have the Luxury Home Magazine issued, but it is a spread. I typically like to invest into my covers, so I'll try to invest if I can in about 3 covers a year for Luxury Home Magazine. I'm also investing in, probably about a, 8 to 12 or 13 page spread that'll showcase all of our luxury listings in the market. I try to come in with market dominance. This guy knows what he's talking about. He's taking some of the nicer listings around town to market. I'll invest in that campaign, but I'm not going there expecting that I'm going to get a pickup call or a read and a direct message from that campaign. Now it happens. It happens in a high level, and customers are asking us to take their listings to market and at least getting me in the door in some of these newer markets that I'm not used to. But I'm going in and betting on myself and adding to the investment by at least getting an additional 1,000 to 2,000 ordered of the magazine copies on top of my exposure of the campaign. And I'll move us to the next slide deck here in a second. Let me see. Oh, that one. Okay. Let me go back here real quick. Okay, go to this Luxury Home Magazine real quick. I will go in and invest, let's just call it $5,000 or $6,000 into a spread. That's not enough for me. I want to be able to go way above that because I want to be able to get a conversion. If I got one call, and we'll work on this on the ROI formula here in a few slides, but if I got one call or one deal out of this and it was a $2 million deal, that's 60,000 in GCI. I spent $6,000 on the campaign. Taking out expenses, I made some pretty good money as long as I was targeting and adding it to, a portfolio of other strategies that I have for our firm. In this case, I'm taking the magazine, getting an extra 1,000 or 2,000 copies myself, paying for them, and going and sending them directly to the consumers in a video bubble mailer. So this started about 5.5, 6 years ago. I've been converting on it ever since. It used to be gold, it used to be red, but I like the blue. A customer will open up the magazine. They'll see right out of the gate. I let them know with a really nice bright sticker that our listing made the cover. They open it up and they have our spread for the listing, and they have a really nice letter up front. And what I'll do, I'll send a copy after this email so you can see that letter. And it's essentially a letter saying, hey, listen, we're taking luxury listings at a high level in this area, and your property that has been kind of sitting on the sidelines all these years or all these months, It's been off the market, not getting the traction it deserves. It's time to make a shift and to make a change with your brokerage. So getting in front of them, letting them know that we have a different option that is, results driven, and we're kind of showing that time and time again to our audience. And so they'll open that up, they'll QR code it in, and they'll call one of our team members and say, "Hey, listen, I'm struggling. We've been trying to sell a home out here for 3 or 4 years, not having the experience." Behind the agent that we hired, he or she seems to be very passive, and they're doing nothing like this. So it's time to let you into the home, and we'd love a chance to hear what you have to separate yourself. That's a huge converter for us within the last 2 weeks. In our own team, I've converted 15 million. I've already closed and actually signed new listings with 7 new listings that were all from this campaign. So I'm not just betting on the video mailer campaign. I'm getting a lot of conversions there as well. Luxury mailer campaign. It's more of an audience that likes to touch and feel things and see something nice, on a glossy magazine cover. So add that to your strategy. If you're saying, well, I don't have $5,000 and I don't have a luxury home magazine in my market, that's okay too. So I had another issue. This is self-made. So this is a self-made publication that we had. I probably invested $3,500 in this for about 5,000 copies. That's 5,000 copies for $3,500. That should take you a long, long way. QR code on the back. This is showing, actually, this is another canceled and expired property that our team member Brandon sold. And it was in Argyle, and it had a swimming pool inside of it. And it was on a graveyard. It was the third property we sold on a graveyard. And we sold it, I think within the first 60 days we had it under contract. It was like a $4.5 or $5 million price point, and we ended up getting it sold for that customer. But you better believe everybody in the city of Argyle got a copy of our luxury update showcasing what we did, and going and taking this magazine campaign with the letter and be able to go minimize that cost and send it out to the customers outside of luxury home magazine. It's still going to get you in the door, and it still give you a reason to give them a call. It's a lot warmer of a call knowing that they have somebody on the other line that is doing something a little different than the competitors, and at the end of the day, it can bring a ton of value to them when they are trying to find an audience for their home. So luxury home magazine, again, if that's something that interests you, or another, how we roll out our other localized magazine that we created, I can give you all of the vendors that we've used, really our processes from start to finish. If you'd like that, please let us know in the chat, and I can give you all the processes for video mailers, all the processes for magazine mailers. Golden letters, something that we still do. This is going into farming neighborhoods where we are getting sales in. We're making movement in a record that has been broken, especially if it was a property that was stagnant and wasn't moving, or if it's a new neighborhood that we're going into, kind of in that 300,000 to like $800,000 price point. These are hand stamped golden letters. Back in the day, I used to get the ones without the wax stamp, so I used to lick like 1,000 or 2,000 of these envelopes in a weekend and couldn't really talk after a Sunday. And yeah, now I found the wax stamps through Amazon. So you can order them by the thousands from Amazon, and you're going to have that same letter, that same customer facing letter. This is who I am. This is my firm. You can add a business card to it if you'd like. I would recommend putting together a really nice piece of collateral showcasing that you're selling at the multi-million-dollar price point in that specific neighborhood. That's the secret sauce there. You want to be in that zip code and in that city so that that customer can relate to it and say, oh, okay, this guy knows how to sell in the area. If you say, hey, I'm really not selling in this area, but I would like to utilize it to get into, Hurst, Texas, or, Miami, Florida, and I really haven't sold anything over $800,000 in Miami, well, that's okay too. Go with your brokers. You signed with your broker for a reason. Your broker could give you a list of everything that the broker has closed in that area over 800,000 or a million, and go and showcase your brokers. The agent doesn't own the listing rights to the photos, the broker does. So go and get the photos and create your own magazine spread and create your own flyer and create your own letter showcasing that, hey, I'm an agent too that can have success, and I can sell a lot of properties and push out my broker's listings in the hope of getting more listings in that market. I started out right out of the gates. I mean, through that first one with the rat that ran across the floor. That was a territory that was ran by just a very few amount of agents. It was in Montclair Park in Colleyville, Texas. This golden letter campaign just opened the doors to get into customers that were in the area in those surrounding neighborhoods. Make sure you're hand stamping them. Don't do the electronic stamp. And if you have the ability to it, handwrite, but I really kind of didn't have the time for it, so I would just print all the addresses and at least to the hand stamp, and then staple my business card and let them know that I want to get in. And then the important piece there is getting those addresses, adding them to PropStream, pulling out the phone numbers and the emails, adding that email to a drip, and then calling those homeowners, leaving a voicemail drop. And saying, "Hey, this is my name. I sent a golden letter testimonial folder to you, showcasing some of my team's success stories in the Colleyville Montclair Park neighborhood. Would love an opportunity to be able to showcase your property or to be able to get you an updated home valuation of the property in the event that you're looking to sell in the near future or any of your neighbors are looking to sell." At the $300,000 to $500,000 price points, the message on the letter is solely about inventory, letting them know that, hey, we got under contract in 3 to 5 days. A lot of the buyers that were shopping in this neighborhood, let's just call it in Oak Alley, they did not get to the property. They didn't have the time. And this was in multiple offers right away. So there are a lot of buyers right now hunting for this neighborhood. Do you or any of your neighbors have the ability to exit right now at really a premium? Would love to show you what that looks like. Give my firm and I a call. And then follow that up with a phone call, letting them know who you are, planting that seed, letting them save your contact number. Text them if you like. I have a lot of my team members that do this via text and are really, really successful at it as well. Okay, moving on to the next slide with the time that we have. Okay, targeted marketing, luxury magazine, we went over that, and customization. Okay, recasting. This is something that I kind of explained it and might have moved forward a little bit. So recast, and you can do it in so many different ways. A recast is what the explanation that I gave with the luxury home mailer magazine. I had one purpose for the campaign, and I'm a fisherman. So my grandfather taught me, hey son, go fish in this hole and this hole and this hole. We used to run like 10 lines of worms and power bait in this stream in New Mexico. And I learned how to cast and wait. So while I'm waiting for these popcorn kernels to heat up for the luxury home magazine campaign, I'm taking that asset and I'm recasting it out to cancel and expireds. I'm recasting it out to equity rich home sellers that are in the higher end neighborhoods that have been on the market that have never been on the market. They've lived in the home for over 4 years. They have 40 to 50% in equity. PropStream will tell you that. They'll tell you the whole story, how much the property is worth. Who is that targeted list? Know who you're marketing to. Don't just send out assets to every door. It's going to be a waste of money. Send it out to targeted assets so that they actually can be aligned with a potential future seller. And so recasting that to cancel and expires, to equity rich homeowners, to withdraws and for sale by owners. Okay, that's what a recast is about. And I just wanted you to know what that explanation is as I talked about it. So I'll say using follow-up calls, scripts, and text strategies that stick, using postcards, golden letter campaigns, custom touches to recast your presence in that area. What I'm doing right now with the luxury roadshow tour and the jumbo postcard with the QR code. I'm recasting it to all of my cancel and expires, the ones that have been seeing me for months and weeks with video mailers and magazine mailers and everything. Now they're going to get a campaign that says, "Wow, this guy's bringing a tour bus of agents to the home," and it says right here with the call to action, honey, look, it says that we can sign ourselves up to be on the next roadshow. And they're going to call me. And I'm going to go for a listing appointment and close it. Like that's what I want to do here. I'm taking this campaign and I'm recasting it to the same area or a different area of folks as well, just to get back in front of them and bring some value to them along the way. Okay, ROI formula. We'll be real quick on this. I'll just use some simple math. Actually, I wrote it over here wrote over here in my notes just so you kind of understand it a little bit. A $5,000 magazine ad. Okay, if you're asking, hey, how do I build up to this? I want to be able to get started at some way. $5,000 magazine ad or $2,500 if you want to do your own magazine. Let's just call it a listing that's procured is $1.7 million, $50,000 in a GCI or gross commission on the deal. You're essentially 10xing your investment. You're turning that 5,000 into 50,000. So just take 50,000, which was you got, and divide out what you spent on it, and that'll get you your ROI on that money. And essentially, it will be 1,000% return of your initial $5,000 investment. I like keeping a spreadsheet of all of the activities that I'm doing that I'm paying for, whether they're magazine, postcards, video mailers, or Instagram and Facebook ads, and tracking the response rate. And as soon as I'm getting deals converted that are under contract and in closing, I am calculating so I know at any point of the year, estimating, give or take, again, what I'm spending on my campaigns and what my ROI to date is on that campaign. I'll tell you right out of the gate, from video mailers to magazine mailers, it's life-changing ROIs, guys. I mean, it's turning us into, I think on the market like today, I think I have 147 listings on the market with 20 of them pending. Sitting right now, we're taking more every single week. I think it's sitting right now at our listing volume today is somewhere around 250 million in listings on the market right now, and it's continuing to grow. It's summertime. It's starting to heat up, and price dropping conversations are happening. But I'm focused on how can I take more listings? How can I get into neighborhoods that we're not in yet? And we're using campaigns just like this that we're going over to be able to continue to do that and to be able to hit our goals throughout the end of the year. So if I were to go to all right. Foundation and knowing your tools. We'll talk just a little bit. I think we're just going to do just a real quick sum up on this. Knowing your scripts, knowing what conversations to have. I started my scripting when I was at buyer's agent and then took my first listing. Gosh, first listing was almost 9 years ago, 10 years ago. 10 years ago was my first listing. And I would go script with you with Tom Ferry on YouTube. So I just open up YouTube and hey, go through Tom Ferry's seller consultation script online. You can pull it up on any YouTube chat. But going in and learning how to be able to hold with confidence what your market, know your numbers, know what's selling, know what your competition is doing. Every listing appointment that I walk in, I have all of our numbers on an app based on the zip code, based on the city, and I know what the live data is. This is what our average days on market is. This is our sold ratio on what we're selling over and beyond and under list price. This is what the luxury market is doing right now. These are some key things that I'm going to do differently than our competition. This is how I'm going to reach the buyer's agents that are in California and Boca Raton and New York. I'm going to be doing these things to be able to ensure that the message is getting out on your home and you made the right decision in hiring our firm to get this to the finish line for you. So we're going to be doing a lot of scripts. I think the next chat I'll have a link and I'll have some listing scripts that are added on there, especially from video mailers, cancel and expires, golden letters, and magazine mailers, just so you can see that all written out. And we'll bring that to you on our next system, our next schedule. Knowing your system, I would definitely ask you to invest in a prop stream or something like it if you're ready to turn up the heat and get customers on the phone. And then invest in something, go in and see what the pricing looks like for video mailer campaigns, magazine mailer campaigns. I'm happy to walk through the metrics and the costs on all of that for you. Please reach out to us, directly. We'll put our information in the chat. Just look us up on Google, the Hershenberg Group out here in Dallas, Fort Worth, and we'll happily walk you through what we think would be a good pivot for you to help generate some more listing opportunities for you. Know your value. You leave with clarity. You leave with certainty, not desperation. Yesterday, I was on the final line going into a listing appointment. We already got the deal. He already signed it, and he got us in a position where he came in and kind of acted like a little, not necessarily bossy. He was a little rude and demanding in a way. And I picked up on it, and I was with one of our team members on the table, and I completely diffused that situation. But I went in there ready to let him go, ready to just say, hey, I'm not going to be treated like that. I know my self-worth, and I know the value that I bring, and we are the team that is going to get some traction on your home. You just have to put yourself in a position to take our guidance. So anyways, diffuse that situation, and hopefully with certainty, we're going to get that property sold, and it's going to be a great listing for us. And that one actually was a magazine mailer campaign as well. And he had it. You show up to the home and the guy has the magazine just sitting there and he's like pointing to it while you're there and saying, hey, this is great. Like same with the video mailers, same with the golden mailers. They always have it in front of them. So as we're wrapping up, core campaign buckets that I'm using for this month's lesson, geo farming for future opportunities from sales, canceled expired opportunities. If anybody wants to go and take my playbook on the roadshow or the luxury roadshow, you get with a title company, a mortgage company that'll help you leverage to pay for some of that, so that you can go in there and start this up in your own city, in your own area, and have the same amount of success that we're going to have out of it. I'm really excited. It really turned heads. Customers are coming out of their doors and looking at this giant bus coming through the neighborhood. It was awesome, and I can't wait to get some conversions out of those campaigns. Every single listing appointment that any of my team members, we're going to all have the iPads. And when they ask, what are you going to do differently to get the Highland Park and the Preston Hollow agents, Michael? Well, actually, this is what we're going to do differently. I mean, even if I have to bring them in on via hot air balloons, I mean, I'll do something, so just outlandish to get them into the property. I really will. Recasting, use that scenario on anything that you do that you're spending money on to get a listing campaign or to get a new listing or to get a new buy even. Recast that same campaign into a different audience. Market it to an equity rich audience. Market it out to a canceled and expired audience. Switch the game up a little bit so that you can get in front of more people. Why? Because it's going to allow you to help more people and going to allow you to get more commissions, in the process. Recasting, staying top of mind after first contact. So you really want to have a good follow-up campaign with that customer the minute you make that first phone call. All right, fundamentals, know your tools, know your scripts, know your systems, and know your value. Guys, that is wrapping it up. I would love to say this last time that we didn't really have time for any kind of Q&A, but I would love for anybody that has anything that they would like to add or just speak about. I'm here to happy to answer any questions while we still have a few minutes. Anybody, don't be shy. Don't be shy. Anybody at all. Okay, I'm going to have Laura add for the next classroom. She'll add that in the chat. If y'all would like to add this to your reoccurring calendar invite, if you hadn't already downloaded the Listing Mastery Worksheet, take that with you. Take something that you learned. Call me on my cell phone, email me. I'm the kind of guy that you can get a hold of to help walk you through something. I love giving back to the agent community. I was part of a group at one point that pushed you in the back room and said, we don't care about anything that you're doing, dude. You do it on your own, and we're going to continue to just do our own things down. And I left that firm a long time ago. So I'm here. I want to give back to the agent community, build up stronger agents in the meantime, build up the competition a little bit. There's so much more out there, like I said, for agents to have new successes out there, and that's what I love when I wake up in the morning. Does anybody have anything they wanted to share or add or a question or a takeaway? Hey Sharon, it's good to see you. I don't know why you came up as a Johnny Williams. That's my fault, but hopefully you were able to hear everything okay. And thanks again for joining. It's good to see you. Something's maybe a little wrong with your audio. It's okay. It's good to see you. We're going to have coffee here soon, okay? Looking forward to it. All right, everybody, that's a wrap. Thank you again for joining and appreciate your time on this, guys. Thanks.